Welcome back, everybody. We are still here with the Ori and the Blind Forest All Skills Tournament. We've got our second match of the day here for you. It's coming from the ILO division, and that is the number 14 seed Terra versus the number 19 seed Brynhold. My name is Vuljan. I'm here with Grimelios, and we're going to bring you this match. Grim, how you doing, and what do you think of this matchup?
Terra's bad.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say. Take it away, Vuljan.
Cool. So we got this matchup between this bad player and Brynhold, Mini K. you wanna talk about it for real, or you want me to go?
Terra's not actually bad. He's actually really, really good. Yeah. Sorry, it's a bit of a community meme because Terra's actually a good friend of mine, which means that I have to give him grief sometimes. Yeah, as you can see by the seed numbers 14 versus 19, this is going to be a close match. And since we're in the upper half of this division, it's nice because it means that whoever loses, and rest assured, somebody will lose. They won't be completely eliminated from the tournament just yet. They'll just move down and get to face, well, either myself or Mills, as it were. So I have a sort of a personal stake in this match.
Well, I can't imagine you ever letting anything personal affect your unbiased, neutral commentary on a match in this tournament. So, you know, of course, we're expecting a completely fair call here.
Anyway, I'm professional enough to let my feelings influence my commentary.
No, Grim, your middle name is professional. It's Grim Professional Elios.
It's true.
But in any case, this is a round of 64 matchup. As he said, the loser will still be alive in the lower bracket. The winner will move on to the round of 32. But here you see some details about these runners. And, you know, the interesting thing to me, Terra, of course, a very skilled player of Ori and the Blind Forest, participated in the AGDQ race and has managed to improve his PB since the start of the tournament by a full minute, coming out of a group where he basically felt like he had 3 top-seeded players all in his group, and he managed to take them all out to go 3-0. Brynhold, on the other hand, is something of a wild card. It's hard to know what we're going to expect from him, isn't that right?
That's right. We sort of jokingly, well, not actually jokingly, called him the Upset King. He's someone who, as we were describing before the race for Legend, he's very skilled in Ori and everything, but he tends to not stream it publicly as much as some other people. So sometimes it's not entirely clear what exactly he's been practicing or how much he's improved or how rusty he is. He had upsets not only in like last tournament, but he had upsets in our randomizer tournaments. His PB is slower than Terra's, but not that much slower. It's hard to predict this one.
That's for sure. Brynhold has told us a few details. Apparently he PB'd yesterday, go figure. We look like we're about to get started, but he has told us a few details, and one of those was, for example, he's been working a lot on his late game. Particularly the trick Fast Stompless has been giving him a little bit of trouble, so we might see whether that's going to be an issue or not, but here we go, getting underway as both players with the clean prologue skips.
I'm going to throw out some early predictions, Fool. I'm going to be a little bit bold about it. I'm going to assume that in the early game here, we're going to see the runners moving left rather than right. It's always a bit of a gamble. 2 different directions, hard to choose. Looks like we were right, and they are going off to the left. I'd also expect them to drop down through this platform. Oh man, they both did. That's just amazing.
I wonder where you obtained this like high level of knowledge about this game. Now, what do you think they're going to do with this upcoming energy cell here?
I'm going to assume that they're going to get the energy cell and then they're going to drop. Wow, they both dropped a safety save. This is phenomenal. I would never have expected to see such high quality gameplay so early in the run.
That's incredible. I don't know if I can keep the sarcasm out of my voice with how incredible that is. But we're coming up to the Spirit Flame. Apologies if you want actually serious commentary, but we're bad people, and let's be honest, this first minute of the game is the same thing every time, so we kind of just have to
it's kind of true
to amuse ourselves.
It is kind of true. There just isn't much that can happen. I mean, as I'm sure we've said in 100 other races, you could take the top player in the world and the bottom player in the world, and you're only going to see very minor differences up to this point. Not between here and wall jump. there are definitely a lot more things to improve between here and wall jump, but up to that point, there's not a lot to say. But with that, as always, we have Spirit Flame, so we can use it to shoot things that get in our way, which is a good thing to do in any speedrun. Still pretty much frame for frame. Nobody's gotten an unfortunate drop yet, so that's good to see.
Yep, and we're looking for the little differences here in this segment between, whether they get a health drop that forces them to watch a 1-second animation, neither of them doing that. They're both trying to manipulate their health. Terra getting knocked back by that shot instead of Brynhold getting knocked forward. And that just, causes another slight little difference. And Terra also gets an energy drop there, which he collects. So Brynhold managing to take a very slight lead. These leads usually don't end up amounting to much, but at the same time, if at the end of the game you win by 15 seconds, some of those seconds can come from this early game.
Sometimes I just think that when you're behind, it's a smart choice to just sort of quit early. So if Terra decided to forfeit, I think it would be understandable. He is behind in the early game here. It's hard to make that back.
That's true. There's really not many opportunities to make back any amount of time increment, like, for example, 8 seconds on the early grounder cycle or cycles in BRB or various other skips elsewhere. Yeah, there's really no opportunity to make those 8 seconds back.
To be perfectly clear, for everyone who might not be as well versed in our bad memes, as Woolgen said, and what I said is completely false, these kinds of lead changes, Brynhold on the right is in the lead by maybe 2 seconds or something. And that's nice, but it doesn't really mean much because there is, it's not that you can't optimize this first split, you can, and runners do all the time, including Terra and Brynhold, but you can't, I think, optimize it as much as some of the later sections because you just don't have very much in your movement arsenal yet.
Or maybe more accurately to say, it's a lot easier to lose time in those later sections, and therefore the variance is a lot higher, as opposed to these early ones where it's not too hard to not make a huge amount of mistakes and get one of these low 320s like both runners just picked up pretty much every time getting to the wall jump tree.
Well, right, and Brynhold's lead right here isn't based on any catastrophic mistakes. It was based on a few RNG drops by Terra, which aren't very impactful, but they're a little bit impactful, as you can see by the few seconds between the runners. It was based on Terra, I hesitate to use the word flubbing, just, barely missing 1 or 2 tiny little insignificant jumps. So Brynhold could just as easily make those same mistakes and we could be virtually tied heading into BRB.
Yeah, and picking up that energy drop, which was just a little minor annoyance. And that can happen anytime from any of those enemies. They all have a 10% chance to drop that. But in any case, as we've said, small deficit here, just about 2 seconds for Terra, but definitely not at all insurmountable. Brynhold making clean movement on his way out of the wall jump area, and Terra doing the same. They're pretty much just neck and neck, and they'll be heading back towards Blackroot Burrows. We are likely going to see Terra make what we've affectionately dubbed the Terra save, as Brynhold does it as well. Just drop a save right here early in the game, and Terra does not. What is happening, dude? Okay, there we go. Jeez.
It's just a slightly different Terra save.
He knew, he knew what we were going to say as commentators, and he was like, ha ha ha, I'll get you.
That sounds like something Terra would do, him being a devious, mean person.
Literally a cartoon villain.
Literally. I mean, he's Scottish, so I don't know what significance that has, but he's Scottish. There you go.
Great, dude.
Save me, religion.
Blackroot Burrows, we're coming in here. It's dark. It will be not dark in a bit after we do some things, but first we're going to do some things. Some platforming is involved. There are spikes. Brynhold takes a little chunk out of one of them, but hopefully it won't be enough to kill him, and he does drop a safety save right before that ledge there. Terra actually has told us that he's basically treating this run like a PB attempt, so we're likely to see him more go with some safer strats. Yeah, he drops a save there on the way back, so maybe, kind of hedging his bet on where the time loss could be if he were to take a death in those spikes.
That's right. I'm happy to see that both Brynhold and Terra got that jump up to that orb that I usually call the spider orb pretty quickly. It's not a hard jump, it's just sort of dumb if you fall on it a handful of times.
No. Brynhold taking a death on the way out into the lantern and spike area. That's going to set him back all the way to that previous save. And he also unhides his UI and starts to see some text boxes, but that gives Terra an early lead, and a pretty substantial one too. These deaths in Blackroot Burrows are not minor.
No, they are not. And Terra, despite, most importantly, just not taking any nasty deaths, made it through the lasers just fine and didn't get zapped, so he got his nice platform cycle as well. He didn't do the save and reload. That can save you like a 2-3 seconds, something like that. But he got the cycle. That's the most important thing. Blackroot Burrows as an area is generally just very cycle-based overall.
Yeah, he's on good starting pace here. He'll be getting into this next room and probably picking up dash around like a 7:30 or something, so that's pretty solid. Able to get that platform cycle with this manipulation that he did in this previous room. The spot where Brynhold's at right now, you actually wait at this spot and then move forward after a few moments, and that manipulates the platforms in the following room that Terra's in right now. So that was what Brynhold was doing there with that quick wait, and Terra did that as well. And as long as you do that correctly, you're able to get the platform right as it comes down and save just a few seconds.
It's kind of funny. We often talk about Blackroot Burrows being a very sort of unforgiving, tricky area at the start, because it absolutely is, especially because you have limited mobility to save yourself if you fall unintentionally or something like that. But it's also, in a strange way, nice having all the cycles, because you can have a little bit of movement or errors in your movement and you can still make your cycles, and it doesn't overall lose you time as long as you catch the cycles.
Yeah, it's kind of, oh, look at that. Terra coming in with what appears to be a 7:19 or so dash time. So I believe that is a new best for him in the tournament so far. And also a very solid just time in general. Brynhold will be coming in now for his Darkness cutscene skip. But yeah, it's kind of a nice thing and also not so nice thing about the early game in this run. There's just this lengthy segment. It's about 4 minutes between wall jump and Blackroot Burrows, where most of your time is just determined by, did you make the fastest cycle and not miss one? And if you do, then it's all good, but at the same time, it's not a lot of variance, so there's not a lot of room for your skill to shine too.
That's right. I'll also just point out, as Terra is doing his Frankie Walk here, you mentioned that Terra is treating this as a PB attempt, so he's not watching the restream, he's just going hyper-focus mode to do the best that he can possibly do. I believe, is it true that Terra's best race time was like a 32-ish?
Yeah, I believe that's the case.
Yeah, and Brynhold's PB is a 32.29, so Terra, one thing he said specifically in this race as well, apart from just going for a PB in general, is that he's going to have to probably beat his best race time if he wants to feel comfortable taking a victory.
Yeah, and I think, you know, for any...
Oh, God,
what are you doing?
No!
Oh, no! A death for Terra. I think he felt like he flubbed his wall jumps going up the wall there, and that does flip the lead right now. But I think he felt like the Frankie was going to get him if he didn't jump away, so he didn't, and just unfortunately jumped into the spike frankly there, just scaring him into the brambles above there.
Well, we'll see if Brynhold can do better. I will say, for what it's worth, I actually think that Terra made the right call. It looked to me like he did mess up the movement, and it was very unfortunate that Terra's Frankie did not dip into the water. Like, watch Brynhold. It's going to land and slip left. Well, maybe it's not. Never mind. The Frankie can dip into the water, and if it had, Terra would have been fine. Unfortunately, it did not, and he was not. So that's going to give Brynhold the lead for now. Looks like Brynhold got through the Death Gauntlet just fine as well. I'd expect to see him, like most runners, drop a safety save on the way into Grotto. Yep, there it is.
Yeah, now the advantage here is Brynhold is able to make it into Death Grotto, and Terra is making his way back into the Death Gauntlet. The advantage is that there was and Terra luring Frankly into the water this time, so he is good, and he drops a safety save as well with some bonus energy. But he had a 34-second advantage after dash. Yeah, for some scary times there, and that death is around a minute. So. Terra's okay. He's probably on 1 health right now.
I just want to interrupt you. That one bramble, Sign always misses a shot on it. That's what happened to Terra. He pressed X and Sign missed the shot. It's that one in particular. It's so weird.
You're not wrong. And he's coming in now. He'll be making an attempt at his early Grotto cycle here. But yeah, because there was such a big deficit already at dash in Terra's favor, he has not gotten this in the tournament, and he still hasn't. Holy crap. That means the deficit's not as bad as it could be, even with the... Wow, I delivered that thought over the course of like 4 segments, like broken apart by different... I should just stop talking.
No, I admire your dedication. You didn't just let the thought sort of... You didn't leave it hanging.
It'll get there sometime.
I mean, props to Brynhold. Despite the death in Blackroot Burrows, since then he's been playing just fine. I mean, he has his lead because of that Terra death, but also because Bryn has just been playing pretty clean. Terra is now in catch-up mode.
Yeah, and of course, the nice thing for Terra is he just has the advantage of he's more experienced and has faster times, so he'll be able to draw upon that and do the faster strats that he knows. That appeared to be a first try Grotto skip for Brynhold, so that particular precise jump just not holding him up at all. Terra will be getting there and hoping to do the same in just a few, but you know, this deficit is definitely overcomable for a runner of Terra's caliber, but he'll just have to play very cleanly and not have another Frankie walk death.
He has to play cleanly, and ideally, you want your opponent to make a mistake. like we say in these races, you never want your opponent to do badly. You just want them to do like just a little bit worse than you. Nice Grotto skip by Terra, by the way. That was super, super fast.
Yep, so here
Fastest.
we're making our way into the rockfall section. Brynhold has just picked up the water vein, the key to the next dungeon, and Terra will be climbing this rockfall to be able to pick it up as well. It's like around 34 seconds according to our around 34. Yeah, according to the folks in our stats vehicle, which we have. It's a hypothetical vehicle, but they're there, and they are providing the stats information, and 34 seconds after double jump.
That is right. I don't know about you, Vulgin, but at this point in the race, especially given, you know, you and me are both very intimately familiar with all the little movement things in this run, I'm trying to pay very close attention to Brynhold, especially to see if he is making any minor movement mistakes. And I've seen a few of them, not substantial ones, but I think he may have lost just a few seconds maybe in some of his wall jumping, and I don't know that I've seen that as much from Terra. So even apart from hopefully no nasty mistakes by Brynhold, we may see Terra be able to catch up just on pure execution alone.
Yeah, like Brynhold's wall jumping strats, I'm seeing a lot of just normal wall jumping as opposed to doing the double jump kind of mash method that Terra does going up a wall. And it is very slightly slower. We're talking like frames or maybe like a second over the course of a whole bunch of wall jumping, but that can add up. Like you need every bit of that time to be able to make up a victory. Maybe Terra wins by 3 seconds at the end, and then you got to say like, okay, well, all those little things were important there.
That is correct. Brynhold has made it to the entrance to the tall tree place. There are some brambly spore guys inside that we're gonna. Some of them we're gonna shoot. Some other ones we're gonna dodge. There's really all kinds of things to do. Terra's having trouble getting through the gap in the rock.
Oh boy. Okay. Yeah, he managed to escape, and he managed to pull out the rock.
Oh god, that's rough.
Oh, Terra. It's in a very scary situation right now.
He made the right call, because those things will kill you. Also, I think the right call to make a safety save there, because to take a death after all that would just be insult to injury. That is, much as sometimes we talk about what players need, that's not what Terra needed.
That's correct. Brynhold is heading deep into the Ginso tree, but I do want to update on a possible situation that, wow, that's harsh.
Probably not wrong, let's be honest.
A possible situation developing on Terra's side. He got an early level up earlier at the Iceless area, which we refer to as being that little spike pit on the way back here towards the Ginso tree. I'm not sure if that means his XP is particularly messed up. It should be all right, but it's just something to keep our eyes on as he continues. And Brynhold now is entering this mini-boss.
That's right. I want to see how many cycles it takes to refresh everyone's memory. It's possible to do 4 cycles, although you can pretty much guarantee that you won't see that. It's almost impossible. A 5 cycle is much more likely. We're seeing Brynhold just sort of plink away at this thing and doing a good job being aware of its spawn locations. The spawn locations here are random, but given good observational abilities, you can mitigate that. Terra took damage in his room as well, but he's okay. He's okay.
Yeah, he makes it through to the puzzle room. He could even drop a safety save here if he really wanted to, and it would still be okay for his energy count. He has a way to recover it. Brynhold is getting towards the climb tree, just needs to collect these keystones and be a little bit careful and get his ghost door. But what we're going to see slightly different. Brynhold was actually opting for paced shots. Well, not paced, but kind of a slightly slow mash.
They could be faster.
Mini-boss. Yeah, it could be faster, like the way Terra's doing it using the scroll wheel technique right over on the left.
That's right. So I just want to pay attention to the left. I mean, Brynhold got bashed, and that's cool. We'll get to see him show that off shortly. But we'll see how Terra... He seems to be doing okay. You know, every time the thing spawns, he's getting a good volley of shots on it. It's very common to see a volley of 8 shots, and there it goes. Maybe someone on stats caught the number of cycles. I didn't, but I know that was pretty good. No major flubs in that mini-boss. Yeah, nice 5 cycle.
And it sounds like the deficit between the runners as they entered Ginso was about 41 seconds. Ooh, Brynhold with a slight flub on this projectile here. He was going for a double bash strat, but just accidentally directed that projectile into a wall. So he goes for another one, and with a slightly more straightforward strat, he's able to pick it up. Ooh, he's also going for this upper platform setup, and he does get it. So he is setting up for his keystone duplication here as Terra is now entering the bash tree. So probably still keeping to about that 40-second difference right now.
You are correct. We'll see if Brynhold has any issues with this. He did not. That's good to see. That could have gone just a hair faster, but he got it. And that's what matters. You can fall straight into the spikes if you do it properly. So Brynhold is not giving Terra a lot of room to catch up, just little bits and pieces, little cracks in the armor that Terra is hopefully going to be able to exploit, but we have a lot of run left, and arguably some of the, well, not even arguably, I think everyone would agree that some of the most difficult tricks in the run are coming up yet in the future. So don't look away. We have a lot of exciting stuff left.
Yeah, in fact, Brynhold will be fast approaching one of the most difficult strats in the run, the Swamp Entry. Terra getting a clean Keystone duplication. He got a little bit trolled by the, he did the same setup on that upper platform that Brynhold did, but he got a little bit trolled because that Mortar Worm that he killed dropped health, so he's going to have a slightly slower Ghost Door here to set up his hyperspeed. Oh god, nearly takes the death without even saving and opts to not bother with the hyperspeed. That's probably reasonable. And oh god, and that actually, the extra health saves his life in the mini-boss there.
Blessing and a curse, apparently.
Oh my goodness.
Well, let's pay attention to the right side of the screen. Brynhold is through the section where you have to watch a cutscene. He's taking his attempt at Swamp Entry. There goes the frog. It's into position with a nice double bash. Yep, we're going to see Brynhold playing on KBM doing the double bash strats. He's going to bait one shot and then bait a second shot. That one missed and hit the platform, so he's going to have to go up top and bait another shot. So Brynhold hasn't like failed this trick yet, but he is taking longer than Terra might. So this is another opportunity. Brynhold itself, he can get it on the way out, I guess.
Yeah, that's correct. And that actually, there was just a discussion earlier where I think a lot of people, when they mess up the double bash strat, they turn back and get the cell and then climb out. And we only, like today, as community, kind of realized, wait, you can just go back for it. Like, it's still there later. Terra working on his Swamp Entry now, and he took some damage from the frog, so he's down 2 health, but he'll also be going for the double bash strats. Terra, a hybrid player, he switches to keyboard and mouse after bash tree. Oh, the shot phased through, but still broke the barrier from the top, so he is through, and definitely will have saved a little bit of time over Brynhold from that clean Swamp Entry.
That's right. Terra also didn't get a hyperspeed, which I'm guessing he was going for. It doesn't save a lot of time, so it's not a big deal that he missed it. I still think that was overall cleaner than Brynhold, since Brynhold had some trouble with the shot projectile. But then on the other hand, Terra just missed that jump up to this hanging wooden platform, so that lost him some time too. This delta is, I don't know the exact numbers. It's still probably pretty comparable. We haven't seen Brynhold make the kind of catastrophic mistake that Terra is probably secretly hoping for.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you're, you know, in this position in a race, Brynhold taking a little damage from that frog, so that's 2 HP down for him. But Terra's now leaving the stomp tree, and yeah, anytime you're, you know, against a runner who's really close to your skill level, you know, you're not hoping for them to have these things happen, but you certainly kind of also are, as Brynhold going for Kuro cutscene skip, and he gets it, saving the potential of 17 seconds watching that cutscene. So Terra needs to also get that to keep up with the Joneses. And oh, this is a nice turn for Terra. Brynhold actually takes this health cell, so this will, right now, it'll give him back 8 seconds relative to Brynhold, and also overall, it'll give him back about 4.5.
Now that's a health cell that I would expect Terra to probably not go for. We do know that Terra was going to go for 6 health unless he was on PV pace, which is very unlikely now. I do just want to take a moment and interrupt myself. Terra got the Kuro cutscene skip as well, so nicely done. To finish my thought, Terra is probably going to get 6 health, but likely not that one. Yeah, there are 2 other health cells he can get instead that are faster.
Yep. The health cell there in the spider pit area is pretty good as a like intermediate strat where it only costs you around 4 seconds or something to take it relative to a different health cell, assuming you're going to take 6 no matter what. And it gives you 5 total for when you go to Sorrow Bash, which is really nice since those spikes deal 4. Ooh, Brynhold getting softened up by that Frankie a little bit at the Charge Flame tree, taking 1 damage. There's not really any opportunity to take a heal anywhere along the way here to Valley, so he's going to be stuck on 3 HP for a little bit here.
Well, I think you'll agree with what I'm about to say. I'd say that after Charge Flame is where the run really starts to ramp up in risk versus reward as far as safety saves go. Like from that point at Charge Flame all the way to Fast Stopless, most runners will make no safety saves, right?
That's correct. Yeah, you can't really afford to, or else you have to take a save before doing Sorrow Bash, which is a 4-second time loss. And of course, you know, you hear 4 seconds, like, okay, whatever, dude, I'll just take the save. And that's not an unreasonable decision. But Oh boy, this is a significant catch-up by Terra here, though. He is 21 seconds behind after Charge Flame, where he was 47 seconds behind after Bash. And this is where you're really seeing the skill level of Terra, allowing him to catch up here. Oh, he goes for the frog strat. Doesn't quite get it. He uses the fish as a backup. But here we go with Save Anywhere Fast Stompless from Brynhold. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I was going to comment. He went to that whole area semi-blind. The reason that any runner does anything so crazy is to make an extra save without having to burn an energy. Brynhold is having trouble with this shot. Terra is not far behind.
Yeah, but his shot does look good now, so he's still maintaining that slight lead. He did learn an ability up at Fast Stompless to get a backup save there, but his shot's good. His was successful. Terra getting up to the ability cell as well, and he's good too. So he is just seconds behind now on Fast Stompless, as both of these runners will be picking up their feather, and we're going to begin the real show momentarily.
That is just a raw execution time save by Terra. Brynhold had some issues with his Fast Stompless shot, and Terra did not. He just beelined it straight to the thing, dash out of the way. So Brynhold is still in the lead, but holy cow, this could just change at any moment. Brynhold is going to go off to the left now that he has Charge Dash, he'll lose some stop cancels. Rocket Jump up to the top. Sarabash is going to be the next major obstacle on this journey through the Forest of Nibel. But Terra is just right on Brynhold's heels. Wow.
Any minor mistake right now swaps this lead immediately, but it works the other way too. Any minor mistake prevents Terra from catching up here. A very clean Sarabash from Brynhold. Terra going with a lot of double bashes as well, and he is in. And now they're both picking up this ability cell, which they need for their route, which they will be doing the Terra break, named after this runner, Terra, who came up with the strategy. Brynhold rocket jumping up to the top. Terra using the slime for the rocket jump, getting a slightly worse one, but he's basically still right behind. Oh, of course, who needs one?
And Terra's only at 4 health. These spikes are insta-kills for Terra, not for Brynhold.
But he is through to the door, drops his save, gets the ghost door. He is still right behind. Might have even caught up a second or possibly 2 over the course of that segment. And Brynhold does not have the save anywhere active, so he's going to have to set that up, which means Terra is going to save another small amount of time here.
I want to quickly point out, even though, first of all, Terra already has a pit save anywhere, Brynhold is going to have to open one of his up, which isn't going to take long. You know, there it is, but he was forced to pause for a second. And just like that, Terra is in the lead. Yeah, he got around that little bend faster. So Terra will be making a save in midair, doing the trick named after him, died intentionally during a charge up. Terra just took the lead.
Yep, and that death 2 for Terra is easier to do because of having only 4 health. Brynhold also had to wait on a laser cycle, whereas Terra had it manipulated so that he could just go up. So Terra, with that knowledge and experience and, you know, that slightly higher level of skill, is just able to save more and more seconds over Brynhold here. This is definitely what he wanted to be able to do over the course of the run, and this is all... None of this came from mistakes from Brynhold. This is all just Terra playing incredibly well.
I will begrudgingly admit that Terra may have some semblance of skill at the video game.
Wow. I'm proud of you, Grim. You've come far.
Thank you, thank you. This is a big moment for me. Terra got some experience from that plant. I don't know why it's called plant. It doesn't look like any plant I've ever seen with it, and I've never been to a weird mystical forest with leaf creatures. So Terra is in the lead, although Brynhold would have caught up like a second or 2 there. Brynhold had to wait for the lasers. At this point, is Terra going to be able to exit this area cleanly? Okay, feathered just a hair early, but got out of the spikes, so he's out of the insta-kill zone, at least for the time being, and heading into Misty Woods. This is where I think we'll start to see Terra really show off his ability at stop cancels, although Brynhold has, I think, that same ability.
Yeah, and we have heard Brynhold talk about he's been really working on the late game. This is that late game. We'll see how it works out for him, but Terra is definitely going to be putting on a clinic. You've seen some very good play from him already coming down here. The only nod that I would even say that there has been to the fact that Terra might be slightly nervous was that he feathered on that, you know, exit from Sara. That's it. Otherwise, he's doing everything that I would consider likely to be his PB strats. He's just going. Brynhold is only seconds behind him, so it's not like Terra has a lot of breathing room here. He's got to play out of his mind still to make sure that Brynhold doesn't have a chance to catch up.
Now, I want to point out something, or reiterate something I should say. Terra is not watching the restream, so he does not know that he's in the lead. All Terra knows is that he had some pretty rough mistakes earlier in the run, and he doesn't know if Brynhold had the same mistakes. So we know, given our omniscient commentator powers, that Terra's in the lead, but Terra may be feeling that stress, wondering if he's still behind.
That's a great point. So you can't even really view the decisions that Terra makes as being in that context, as I was kind of getting at. He's not, taking a little bit of damage from that dropping slime. That's 2 HP now for Terra. We'll see if he opts for a safety save. He told us he's mostly focusing on this as a PB attempt, but that doesn't stop him from thinking, you know what, it's still a race. I'm going to drop a safety save. So good decision by him. Brynhold, again, still just right behind him, bearing down, not stopping to drop that save to stay within striking distance.
And this is fascinating. Even though the execution on both sides is pretty comparable, I'm seeing a lot of these small strats from Terra that I'm not seeing for Brynhold. For example, Brynhold just did a charge jump to do a charge jump to that Frankie. Terra actually did his hair early and actually did sort of a perilous stomp cancel above, not insta-kill spikes, but 3 damage spikes. This area, because of the spikes, is not maybe quite as dangerous as well, it's not as dangerous as Sorrow, but it's still scary.
Sorry, Terra taking the 3 damage from the meatballs in the meatball shaft, and that softened him up all the way to 1, but he did drop a safety save, so he's back to 3 HP. Would get killed by a shot from one of those mini-bosses, except what mini-bosses? They're just gone, evaporated in an instant.
I'm very happy that Terra killed those things cleanly. Going into the that mini-boss at low health without a safety save is super spooky. Brynhold got a nice quick kill as well, though. Not as fast, but still got them out of the way very quickly. That's going to solidify Terra's lead just a hair, though. And I have to say, Sorrow Pass and Misty Woods are probably 2 of the most difficult sections of the run and the most prone to massive time losses due to unintended deaths. But we're out of that. Terra's out, and Brynhold will be exiting Misty very, very shortly. So if Brynhold is going to catch this up, Terra's going to have to die again somewhere.
Well, we certainly hope not to see that, but at the same time, boy, that would make this race really exciting, wouldn't it? I mean, it's already really exciting. They're super close. Brynhold now, because of Terra's incredible Misty play, has fallen slightly further behind. That teleport animation is 10 seconds, and then Terra, by the time Brynhold gets off his teleporter, is already in the spike, the laser, pre-laser S thing here. Whatever you want to call it.
That's what it's called in the game's code.
And he gets past the Yoka laser cycle, so he is going to be performing his old-fashioned father cutscene skip, drops his save, levels an ability after dashing over the cutscene trigger, and he is into the grenade tree, and Brynhold following suit, but again, just the gap slightly widening for Terra.
Oh god!
Oh god! Oh!
I can't believe he made that. Ordinarily, for a super clean Yoka cycle, you'll sort of see the laser for just a second to verify that you can get through it cleanly. I didn't see it from Brynhold, and neither did he.
Yeah, wow, that's some real, bravery there to just go on through there. Even with the flub dash, he managed to recover. I'm just very impressed. Terra getting a pretty good cycle of these lasers on the way out, too, so Beautiful. He's already done with grenade, and he is on his way to Mount Horu, and only has to finish the run with the 2 totally trivial frame-perfect tricks. Yeah.
Totally. We saw Terra just pick up health cell number 5. I would expect to see him grab health cell number 6 in Horror Fields. Brynhold had to back away from the laser for a minute. Still got through. Wow.
Holy crap, Brynhold. Wow.
Yeah, that's about the best way to describe it. Those are 2 very, very narrowly avoided deaths by laser.
Terra running out of energy there. Having a little bit of a flub with that thing, and he is taking the 6th health, so Brynhold, I believe, will already be at 6 health, which means he won't have to stop to get this, but he is still already behind by about 20 or maybe 30 seconds here.
This run may end up coming down to the final 2 frame-perfect tricks that we have, Door Warp and the infamous, final grenade jump.
God!
You freaking show off. Unbelievable.
Oh, he still got a Terra jump, but wow, that was terrifying. You get it?
I get it.
All right, we're entering Mount Horu. Door Warp. It's gonna happen. How many tries, Grim?
1,000.
All right, let's go, Terra. Try 1,000. Oh, all right. It's not try 1. Brynhold is entering the door right now. Oh my gosh, Terra.
Oh, okay. Actually, all jokes aside, he's not going to take 1,000 tries, but he's going to take more than 3, apparently. If Terra doesn't get it this time, Brynhold could get the lead. Terra got it, and Brynhold got it.
First try! I cannot believe this. Terra is now barely 5 seconds ahead of Brynhold, who's now activating the Element of Warp. Terra starts the cutscene from just slightly further to the right, but here we go again with this practically synced final escape. They've both got 6 HP. The Poison Water Swing is going to be a little bit more straightforward, but it's all coming down to this and Grenade Jump.
There is no room for error. Pay attention to both sides. Become a chameleon. Spread your eyeballs out in both directions. We need to see perfect execution from both sides. Terra has to get through not only extremely cleanly, but he has to get his final grenade jump like first or maybe second try to win this. And if Brynhold can continue going through cleanly and he gets the final grenade jump just a hair faster than Terra, then he will win this. It's not even an option for Terra to not do the grenade jump if he wants to win this. He has to
Clean swim for Terra. That's right, clean swim for Terra, clean swim for Brynhold. He took the 5th damage, so it's great that he had the 6th health. Terra bashes into the wall, he sets up
That's intentional, I think.
Correct, a fake charge jump to try to make sure that his position's gonna be good, and then he aims the grenade jump, and he gets it first try, and Brynhold does not get it first try. So, wow. I cannot believe how this race progressed up until the very end when Brynhold now gets it on his 3rd attempt and will finish mere seconds behind Terra. Holy crap.
Everybody take a minute. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Make sure you get oxygen to your extremities. I didn't breathe for that whole escape, so I'm gonna need some oxygen myself.
Yeah.
I can only imagine how they fared not breathing while also playing the game.
This could easily be within the same margin that our previous closest race ever was, as Terra finishes up, and Brynhold will finish up in just a few moments. It's just behind that. This might be about 11 seconds or so. Absolutely incredible. Just wow.
GG's all around. That was not a race that was decided by really awful mistakes and like unfortunate, heartbreaking deaths. That was just super close the whole time. Brynhold had the lead early on, and he just lost it in bits and pieces. And conversely, Terra gained it in bits and pieces and was able to keep that lead all the way to the end. Almost lost it on the door warp, but was able to clinch it out right at the end. That was amazing.
That's for sure. The final times are correct on stream, the 23 and the 35. So these runners finishing 12 seconds apart. As promised, I think Terra did get a new fastest race time. So he was right about that. But wow. Just, I think the whole story, Grim, comes down to between Bash and Sorrow Pass, Terra just played out of his mind and saved so much time compared to Brynhold. That was just absolutely incredible, and he managed to turn a very substantial deficit into a very substantial lead.
That's amazing. I also just want to point out that in the SRL chats, there was an expletive typed out by Terra, who, remember, was not watching the restream, but did look at SRL chat and noticed that Brynhold finished just seconds after him. I can only imagine the nerves getting into an escape and just thinking like, oh my gosh, is the 4th red door going to cost me the victory or something?
Yeah, especially if you're not watching. He had the SRL chat hidden as well. He said he was going to do that after about Feather or so. So he had no idea at all what was happening. All he knew was when he finally finished up, oh good, I won. That's it. That's the first indication he really got at that point. But just an incredible performance by both runners. Brynhold with consistent execution from start to finish, with only the one really bad death in Blackroot Burrows, but otherwise just, kind of sticking to his guns, and Terra managing to make that incredible run back without even, of course, having the awareness to know that it was an incredible run back.
Well, we'll jump into the brackets in a minute, which you can see on screen now, but while everyone's sort of looking at our nice graphics, I'm going to go ahead and pull in Mr. Terra himself. Hey, Terra.
Yo.
Yo.
You must be feeling some emotions.
I wasn't watching a restream. I assumed I had lost, so I just said, oh, okay, I'll just give it my all. and when I done, I just saw Bryn done like 5 seconds later. I was like, oh, dang.
Oh my gosh, Terra. Yeah, I mean, this was a treat to watch. I'll give you a brief outline to help set the stage. Obviously, you took the Frankie Walk death. You had actually been ahead of Bryn by about 30 seconds at Dash Tree. He had a death in BRB, so the death to Frankie Walk actually did not set you as far behind as you might have thought. And, so at Dash Tree, you actually were about 45 seconds behind, mostly due to the stuff that happened at the teleporter.
Mm-hmm.
You ran that back to become a lead again by charge jump, with neither of you making any major mistakes. And then the rest of the run was just incredibly close. Largely, I would say your execution in Misty really helped provide the buffer so that the fourth tri-door warp did not kill you.
Yeah, looking at my splits here, like from Enter against Soul was a minute and 40 seconds behind, and it was the exact same at Grenade, so I just matched my PB all the way. I think that must have helped.
Wow.
But yeah, that really tilted me. I just tried to do a swag dodge in the front end, just completely messed it up.
Like, I guess you'll hear this if you watch the race back, but I think you made the right call for whatever that's worth. For all the crap I give you, I think you made the right call. You had to do something because the Frankie was going to squish you.
Yeah, my jumps were awkward going up the wall, so I thought, oh crap, okay. I've done it before where I jump over to that, but I didn't think he would reach me over there.
Yeah, he decided to come even closer and become good friends with you, and well, there wasn't much of a place to go at that point.
Yeah.
So overall, of course, that death certainly, I'm sure didn't sit particularly well with you. But were there any parts of the run that you were especially proud of how you managed to execute?
Pretty much everything after a bash, I would say, felt really, really good. Swamp entry was clean, and just everything up to Grenade, and yeah, I think it was great swag when I got the Terra jump. I noticed that.
You
almost died to the bait.
Was that Terra jump intentional?
Yeah.
I mean, like, going to the jump was, but like the fact that you had to bash the Baneling up and everything.
Oh, that was improvised. I tried to get the double one, but didn't go
Yeah,
too
because that was terrifying. We're like, oh god, it's so close.
well, I'm glad I made it a good race.
Yeah, dude, that just incredible. Well, okay, so your next match, you do advance to the round of 32. Your next match will be against the winner of Elo Jiminy and Fluffy Prower, who will play, I believe, in the near future. I think either tomorrow or 2 days from now. But you know, of those two players, I'd say Elo's pretty favored. But you know, do you have a preference for who you would have to play? Do you have any thoughts about the two of them specifically?
I just really want to play Elo. The whole Scotland versus England thing. And maybe if I can have a run similar to that, but without the Frankie Walk death, I feel I can put up a good fight. If he has an awkward run, I can get a 30. See what happens. But I'll be happy with either.
Well, it's funny,
if I don't face Elo next round, I'll be facing them in losers. When Fluffy destroys me as well.
I want to ask you another question about that race. Do you think you were going for additional safety throughout the whole thing, just in the form of safety saves, given some of the early mistakes, or are some of those saves, like in Misty, for example, ones that you always go for?
No, it's a spook, because I got hit by the fallen slime right after the climb tree, so I had to put a save down, and I just didn't do uncancelled charge dash, and I don't know, I was just spooked, especially going to the meatball rocket jump as well. I think I was at 1 health or 2.
So well, yeah, you definitely took, you bonked the meatball on the way up there. So.
Oh yeah, that was it. Yeah, it was after that I had to save.
Yeah, that was only mildly terrifying.
Just a little bit.
Well, I'll ask you, I just have one final question. Who in this division are you most scared of facing? And if you don't say me, I'm going to mute you.
Oh, definitely, probably Fluffy when he beats you.
Oh my god. The nerve on this guy. I had to throw it in. I had to try.
The dream's still on, dude. We can still meet. You just have to beat Brynhold and Elo, or not Elo. Just beat everyone. Just beat everyone.
Oh my goodness.
All bad jokes aside, that was super cool to watch, dude. GG.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thank you.
Well, as mentioned, of course, before the race, Brynhold, having lost this race, does not get eliminated from the tournament. It is double elimination for the upper bracket participants. So he will be sent down to the lower bracket and will have a chance to continue winning forward by facing the winner of F versus Zik, which I am not sure if that's scheduled yet. But he'll certainly have another opportunity. And given the fact that he came in this race within 7 seconds of his PB, he'll be a pretty scary opponent for anyone in the lower brackets, so that will be something to look forward to. Terra, of course, will face the winner of Elo versus Fluffy. That will also be a good thing to look forward to, as well as all the other matches in this group. It should be pretty fun, but for now, That's been it for this race, but Grim, we've got more action coming up next.
We do. We have another race coming up immediately on the same Speed Gaming channel. It's going to be Tasknoop versus Iced, assuming I got my my information correct. And I want to check, that one's going to be commentated by Covert Muffin and Rainbow Kugel. So if you enjoyed this match, stick around, and we're going to have another one coming up on the hour.
Yep, that's right. But for now, we're going to sit tight for about 15 minutes. We're all going to go take a deep breath after that 12-second race differential. We're all going to try to relax. But Grim, as always, it's been a pleasure being joined by you.
Yeah, same dude.
And I like my use of passive voice there. I just realized what an awkward phrasing that was, but don't worry about it. No one even noticed that I just said something about it, so it's all good.
Notice.
Yeah, no. So we'll be heading off, and we'll be looking forward to hearing some good baked goods commentary in the near future.
See ya.